Alright, hello everyone and welcome back to the Siargao Cloud9 Surfing Cup. We went on hold quickly when a bit of a storm front came through, mixed with the low tide earlier. But we are back and there's firing waves out the front at Cloud9. My name's Chris Binns. Alongside me is a heat winner from earlier on in the day, Brad Gerlach. Ger, how are you, mate?
Yeah, good. Just had a little snooze, and during the break.
It's hard work getting tubed.
At this age, for sure. No. Yeah.
Alright, so this is Heat 5. Fraser Devel from Australia up against Eli Olsen, one of the North Shore guns. And Carlos Gonzalez from Ecuador and Neil Sanchez from the Philippines. And this is Fraser Devel.
Jeez, what a nice little wave, huh?
So we're looking to
Where's
get
Fraser from?
That
I mean Australia, but like, you know where he's from?
That is a good question.
From in Australia.
And we're looking to get 3 heats done this afternoon before it gets too dark. Should be some firing waves, although looks like there's another front lurking off to the north of us that could maybe come through and bust things up once again, but let's hope not.
That was a pretty good start, though. Had a nice little tube and came out, did a pretty clean turn. Look at that little nugget right there. Wow. Waves are really fun. Oh. Best wave of the day.
Wow.
Starts off with best wave of the day. That's the way you want to do it.
It's not a bad way to get things started. So still no first priority. That will be split between Eli Olsen, Carlos Gonzalez and Neil Sanchez. Fraser Devel will be in 4th priority. And Eli is part of that pack of North Shore maniacs. He's here with his mate Koa Rothman, Karan Jabor. They've got a fair collection of their crew in town for this one. Carlos Gonzalez is from Ecuador. He's a maniac as well. He's sponsored by Volcom for a long time. Has put in tons of time on the North Shore. And here's the replay of Fraser Devel's. So we've seen tubes like that. We haven't seen too many combinations. He came out and crunched that first turn. And getting rewarded for a mixture of tubes and turns on that wave. And it's the highest score of the day so far.
Beauty. Did you find out where Fraser was from?
Well, he's the... oh no, that was a long time ago. Yeah, I think he's from Sydney. Cool.
Oh, here we go. Couple of guys moving in on this wave right here. Oh. Bit of jockeying there.
Alright, so who's in position right now? This is the surfer in green. On the inside, the local guy, Neil Sanchez. We've already seen him in action once today. And he just couldn't get around that one. Couldn't sneak under it. Maybe paddling a little bit too deep in the priority battle right there. And who's in position now? This is Carlos Gonzalez. And, well, this is a great looking wave for Carlos. Nice big turn.
Probably should have just hung and tried to...
Got a little bit greedier.
Yeah. What is that? That's the opposite of a tube pig. Tube kitty.
Well,
what is that?
so here's the replay of Carlos's wave. And as you can see, conditions have really cleaned up a lot. It's
See what I
still, the
mean?
tide's pretty low, so it's going to get better and better as the tide keeps coming up. And Carlos, well, he got the tube and a couple of nice turns to back things up. And that's going to be a decent score for Carlos.
Yeah, I'm calling Should have been a lot deeper on that.
Yeah, so a 4.33, so the judges are agreeing with you there, Gur.
Yeah, you get the feeling that you need to race it, but really you need to park it.
So it's still pretty low tide out there right now, but yeah, as this
Conditions
fills in this afternoon, it's pretty clean and glassy. Here goes Carlos Gonzalez once again, and he's a pretty nuggety, powerful guy. I've seen a lot of his work. He spends a lot of time in Bali, and he's got an air game, and there it is. Releases the fins on that air reverse, and behind him, here goes Neil Sanchez, tucking into a nice, clean tube.
Hate that.
Just losing his front foot and getting well and truly upended. And that's going to be Neil Sanchez's best wave. So Eli Olsen should have priority. He'll be out the back, looking to cash that in on next best good wave that comes our way. Here's a replay of Gonzalez's wave. Strong opening turn, open the shoulders through plenty of water, and then just popped that one out of the top. And then behind him, Neil Sanchez getting well and truly barreled, and then just losing his foot right there. And that was almost like a soccer dive. He just went flying, arms out in front, and hit the deck.
Yeah, that little snap to reverse. Yeah, that little nifty little reverse there. Let's see what they starts out with an open carve and goes in straight into a almost like a new age chop hop. I can't do it, but pretty handy turn for a small little wave.
All right, so Carlos Gonzalez, he got a 5 for that last carve to reverse. Neil Sanchez got a 4.63 for his tube to trip up. And Fraser Devel has backed up his 8.43 with just a minor score of 1.23, but that is extending his hold on the lead. And here goes Carlos Gonzalez again, staying very busy.
Nice and deep.
Threw that one up, landed on the roof, couldn't put it down in front of the wave.
Sitting in fourth priority, imagine, and look, he's much deeper. He probably figured that had a not much of a wall on it, so throw caution to the wind and get a big turn and maybe replace that 4.33, but clean little waves coming through. 15 minutes remaining. Olsen yet to catch a wave, but I mean, you can catch 2 waves in the matter of a minute and a half here, so that's not a worry as we see turning around here.
This is Eli Olsen opening his account. And what's the natural footer got for us here?
Oh, that was a wave just was not the kind of wave.
Don't know if that was worth waiting 10 minutes for.
Nah, it wasn't. Not only waiting 10 minutes, but losing your priority as well. There it is, 2.5.
All right, here goes Fraser Devel. Straight into it. Not super deep. Now he gets a little bit more covered up. He'll come up and back it up with turns. Wow, so he's looking to back up an 8.43, and he's done it very nicely there. He's not done yet. One last punt, and rides out of that. Wow. So we're going to see another great score for Fraser Devel. That was a beautifully put together wave.
Yeah, board looks perfect for these waves. I don't know what size it is or what, but that thing just fits really, really well in the pocket. Doesn't look like it's catching. And
this wave had a bit of everything, didn't it? He went straight for the tube and came out a couple of turns, really lively as well. And it's like you said before, those airs when you can't see them coming, that was just so lightning quick. He really got the tail high and whipped it around nice and fast. And gets a 7.67, so a 16.1 two-wave total so far is definitely the best we've seen so far today. Here goes Eli Olsen. He's looking for a little bit of tunnel vision. Comes out, wasn't super deep, and this wave's going to turn all sorts of weird for him down the line.
Devel has been picking off the runners. Had Devel stayed in the tube just a bit longer, maybe gone down to the bottom and then hooked it in there and got a little longer tube and then did all those all that handiwork on the wave. Could have seen that go to a 9.
Yeah, I mean, he's dropped 2 of the probably, I'd say, top 5 waves of the day so far. This is easily our
that's the only thing.
score.
That was the only thing I could have. I usually look at this and ask myself if could he got more out of it, and that would have been the only place, just in that first part of the tube. When you look at it, you can see he took off and then put his arm in the wave to slow down. Instead, maybe took off, went down to the bottom, and used the bottom of the wave to slow down.
Oh, something I think we're going to see more of now is not necessarily tube time, but rain, because this front is about to smash us. We can already see it's hitting the lineup. And, well, we're going to keep on pushing through. So there's 11 minutes remaining in this heat. It says 15 on the screen, but I think the clock's just stuck. But there is 11 minutes remaining. The scores are right. Fraser Devel with an 8.43 and a 7.67, comfortably out in front. And, well, he's got the rest of them comboed at this point in time. So it's pretty much a battle for second place. Second is held by Carlos Gonzalez from Ecuador. He's got a 5 and a 4.33. Neil Sanchez has a 4.63. And Eli Olsen has a pair of 2s, a 2.87 and a 2.5.
Ever notice when it rains really hard, it seems like the waves go away? You ever surfed with when it's been really, when a squall comes through?
Yeah.
It seems like the waves go away during the squall. We'll see if that's plays true here or not.
How awesome is sitting out in a tropical squall, though? It's epic.
Yeah, but you get wet.
All right, we've got some movement here. Neil Sanchez having a look. can't get into that one. He is sitting there with first priority. And well, we're seeing 3 of the surfers having a look at this. Carlos Gonzalez is on the inside. Doesn't have priority. Cedes the way to Neil Sanchez.
Oh,
And there's that late bottom turn to tucking in high that you were talking about before, Ger. And what's this wave going to offer Neil down the line? A little combo. Managed to back up his tube with a bit of a
I thought he was going down on
end
that
section
bottom
re-entry. Yeah, things went a little bit haywire, didn't they?
turn. Yeah, I thought for sure. Well, he was sliding and he lost control off the bottom, and
Here's the replay. So he exercised his priority. And what happened right here?
I mean, and then I thought he was getting too high, but I think he blew that opportunity. That wave was a real nugget.
So 2.97. So the judges agreeing with you there, Ger. They didn't think that was
That wave had a lot of potential.
fantastic wave by any measure.
Yeah, I think that was a situation where he got ahead of himself. And
All right, here goes Eli Olsen. He's looking to get his heat up and running, really. He's going to take to the sky, loses his board, so that's going to be another minus score for Eli. It's not really happening for the Hawaiian right now. Fraser Devel a mile out in front. Carlos Gonzalez will... This is all the attention right now is on the battle for second. Fraser has strung together the best heat of the event so far. Alright, here goes Eli Olsen again. This is his 4th wave. Can he drive through a tube? He's deep, and he's punched his way out of that one. Wasn't clean, but that might be his best score so far. Now who's in position? Carlos Gonzalez lets it go. Neil Sanchez tucks in, and again, he never really looked too over his board. Wasn't a lot of control that went into that one, and he's gone down. And now his heat leader, Fraser Devel, he's picked nothing but fantastic waves, and commentators curse. He goes down, and he might have taken out Neil Sanchez there as well. So a flurry of action, and it was just kind of dominoes, one wave after another, people getting upended. So just over 5 minutes remaining in this heat.
so 5 minutes remaining. Fraser, that's a hard name for me to say. It's Fraser.
Fraser Devel.
That's the way you say it in Oz. Fraser. We would say Fraser.
There's no
in the
I in it.
States.
There's no I. It's ER.
I know it is, but we just still would say Fraser. I don't know. People
Yeah,
in the
but
States.
you guys pronounce aluminium wrong.
That's because we don't spell it with an extra I in it.
Well, you changed the spelling of your own volition.
Well, it's America.
Here goes Carlos Gonzalez. And, he couldn't quite find the tube, so he's taken to the sky. He's done a half kickflip, so...
Couldn't find the tube, but it was right there. He just decided not to. He didn't want to get tubed. That's what it looked like to me. I mean, I thought he was setting up to get barreled right there. Aluminium.
All right, here goes Eli Olsen. This is a good-looking wave. Can he get a score and get himself back in the picture? Well, didn't find the barrel. Big turn out of the top there. and another lightning fast little attack on the lip. So 2 turns there for Eli.
That's his best wave. That could get him back in the hunt now.
Carlos on the inside having a look. Can he find the sweet spot? Nope, decides to pull straight through back. Wasn't interested in that one. And Carlos is from Ecuador. Not too many surfers doing the circuit from Ecuador these days. But he is a fantastic surfer.
Now the scores aren't up on the screen here, but I'm
just over 2 minutes to go, and it's still Fraser Devel, and you see him sitting a mile away from the pack. He's just going to wait for a deep one and see if he can't get barreled. Here goes Carlos. It's a nice looking wall. It's beautiful, clean face. And he'll look to connect with a big turn or two. Takes the sky again. Can he ride out that one? He death grip on his grab there and stuck it down. So Carlos looking to replace a 4.33. And Eli Olsen is looking for about a 4.5 to jump up into second.
couple of minutes left. Yeah, that last wave getting him a 4.87, so puts him back in the hunt.
And here goes Neil Sanchez. He's not out of it either. He needs about a 5. He's got a great wave
sets
here.
it up like
Parks it. Arms wide. Some style. Never super deep, but he's definitely claimed it. Now, Fraser Devel, this is, well, I thought that might have been a bomb.
Yeah, but
he obviously had to give priority to Eli Olsen.
He didn't, though, I don't think.
Eli tucks in. That's a great section. Can't punch out of the end.
I want to say he gave it to him. That was interesting. Maybe those guys are friends.
Yeah, I mean, if Fraser had priority there, I don't know why he wouldn't have gone that.
Sanchez did the old, here it is, look, did the old go down to the bottom and set it up, slow down, and then park it right here.
How's the style?
Yeah, that looked kind of, looked like some beautiful 70s stuff.
All right, so there's 1 minute to go. Fraser Devel still a mile out in front. And still waiting on scores. Last wave for Carlos Gonzalez was a 5? Or was it the 5.83?
Might be the 5.83.
So the judges liked that. And that's extended his grasp on second place. Eli Olsen with 30 seconds to go. That was a... he's probably might get one more chance. Neil Sanchez has moved into third. Still looking for a score to move into second. And it's looking like time might be in short supply for Neil Sanchez and Eli Olsen. And here goes Fraser Devel to shut the door on this heat. He surfed a pretty flawless heat, and he's not done yet. He's still parking it, still driving. And, well, that is beautifully done from the New South Welshman. And he's going to bring it into the beach.
New South
Welshman. Very well done.
Whatever board he was riding looked very good. It kind of looked like a JS, didn't it?
I'm not sure, to be honest.
Boards have got a way different...
I think it might have been a Channel Islands.
Boards have a way different look these days. They've got that super white, different kind of stringer.
I think that's a one of the new Channel Islands.
It does look like a Channel Islands, yeah.
They've got the, it's called like a Springer or a...
Flex bar?
A flex bar?
Oh, yeah. Parker was riding one of those a couple of years ago. I liked it. All right. Well, I'm going to warm up.
All right. Are we seeing you again today? What heat are you in?
I'm in the last one.
All right. Heat 7. Go get him, Brad Gerlach. And let's get Will Hayden Smith into the mic. Good luck, mate.
Go easy on me, eh?
We'll do it. Yeah.
No, go hard.
Yeah, respect is earned, mate. Earned, not given.
G'day, Binsey.
Welcome back, William. So that was a pretty good heat. Fraser Devel really getting it done. And we're going to roll on into Heat 6, Round 2 of the Siargao Cloud9 Surfing Cup. And in this heat, Blake Thornton, former World Tour competitor, Mitch Parkinson from the Gold Coast, Daniel Farr from New Zealand, and a guy we've already seen once today, Mark Escaldora. And, well, looks like
the local.
Escaldora straight away. We saw him just parking it. His pig dog game is legit. Obviously, tons of experience out here. And now here goes Mitch Parkinson. He's been coming here for years, straight into the tube. He is a tube pig of the highest order. Big alley-oop and puts it down and has a look at the tower.
Mitch Parkinson, like I've mentioned before earlier in the day, he's one of the guys who's been coming here almost every year since 2011.
That was the attitude. Why did he have to stare down the judges like that?
Oh, I like it.
He's
A bit of personality.
Such an angry little ant. Look at that. His front foot's about a foot from the nose of his board, and then we haven't seen anyone put down an alley-oop, but Mitch has done it easy as you like. And,
yeah, this wave suits Mitch's surfing really to a T. He is as good as anyone at riding right-hand long tubing waves, and his air game on those end section ramps. He's got it all. He can do big rotators, big straight airs, and like we just saw, an alley-oop. Mitch is staying at Siargao, which is Jerry Deegan, the contest organiser's resort, just across the road.
8.5, so that's the highest scoring wave of the heat of the contest.
Yeah, and you can see that the judges aren't willing to throw out 10s or 9s very easily. You're going to have to earn it. They know that we're going to be seeing a lot of nuggets as the tide comes up, and I like that score.
Yep, I thought that was on point.
Takes a bit of pressure off getting an 8.5 in the first 2 minutes of a heat. Mitch will be feeling good. Now he can be a bit more selective with his priority. He knows he's probably got markers in the lineup. He knows where to sit. He's been watching it all day. He was pretty happy when it was first called off earlier in the day, and then he went for a free surf and he came out and said there was a few really good waves, but the problem was there were few and far between, and we had a couple rain squalls, so it was raining sideways. And another one just came through now, but they tend to pass through pretty quickly.
And here goes Mitty again. He also copped a stray board in the head at one point. And, well, he's just quickly in and out of that one. Yeah, the big numbers in the water earlier in the free surf. And, unfortunately, an errant surfboard collected young Mitchell.
Is he alright?
Ah, mate.
He's got a tough noggin.
Hit his head. It's the hardest part of him. I think the board might have suffered some damage. Maybe it knocked some sense into him. Maybe that's where that first wave came from.
For those watching at home, Binsey and Mitch are good mates. It's all in good fun. And his backup score of a 0.6 won't last there very long. He loves catching waves. He's going to get busy, get his fill.
Yeah, Gold Coast surf rat of the highest order.
We're going to see another clip from the front angle.
Look how clean that wave is. And wasn't a whole lot more Mitch could have done with that wave, really.
It was pretty clever. That lip kicked up at the last second, giving him a bit more of extra boost in the air. It wasn't an easy air to land, and
that wind, it's offshore, but it's a little bit cross-shore into the right, so it's perfect for that big alley-oop. And all the boys these days, obviously, so tuned into those sorts of things. And you just saw the wind perfectly stick the board to Mitch's feet. Here goes Blake Thornton, another guy who loves a barrel. He's deep, and unfortunately that second section didn't give him a chance. If he could have punched through that one, he would have been looking at a huge score. And well, who have we got now? This is Daniel Farr. Nice hack, meaty off the middle. Can he get a little tube down the end section? Doesn't cooperate. So yeah.
So you reckon Blake surfs out at Cape Solander very much?
Oh god, every time it breaks, he's a charger. No two ways about that.
Yeah, he likes a barrel. Yeah, it's not always ideal. Oh, here we go. Replay of Blake. Let's see what went wrong here, Binsey.
Well, he was super deep, And it was just, it didn't really give him an exit. That second section just really closed out a long way in front of him. And there wasn't even like a little doggy door he could sneak out of. So there wasn't much he could have done about that. But it was a great looking wave on takeoff. So he had to go. And unfortunately just the lip deciding to guillotine him and end his run on that one. 5 minutes, or just over 5 minutes down, 19 and a half to go as we see an empty wave just spit heavily on the inside. So we've seen plenty of squalls come through, but then it's pretty glassy. It's pretty slack wind at the moment as well. It's light cross offshore. But yeah, the surf is going to be overruling the wind. There's definitely still going to be plenty of tubes to be hunted over the last two heats of the day. This is the second last heat of the day. Blake Thornton, Mitch Parkinson, Daniel Farr and Mark Escultura. And up next to close out the day, Baron Mamaya, Noah Beshan, Kai Awada, and a guy we've already seen once today, our co-commentator and the highest scoring surfer of round one, believe it or not, Brad Gerlach. Here goes Blake Thornton looking to put some points on the board, picking this one up under priority on the inside. And as a World Tour competitor, he knows this game better than most, as we see Daniel Farr throwing up an air reverse, not getting anywhere with it. And here goes Mitch Parkinson. He tucks in. It's only a small barrel, but it's beautifully shaped. He was always coming out of that. He's going to take to the sky again. This time he goes the air reverse. Doesn't quite stick it around, so just reverts out of that. And didn't really complete that manoeuvre, so that'll just be sort of a low score for Mitch. It'll replace his 0.6, but he'll be ditching that one before this heat is done in 18 minutes' time.
Look at Mitch motoring back out the back. He wants that second priority spot ahead of Daniel Farr. He knows that priority is key to getting the best waves out here, so he is motoring it out the back. I love to see the fire and the competitive experience in these guys. I mean, Blake hasn't really had a good run so far. He got a little score on the board in his last one, which is yet to drop, but he knows neither has Mr. Escultura or Daniel Farr, so he's the most experienced competitor in the lineup. He'll know he just needs to get two good waves, and there's plenty of time left.
All right, last score for Mitch Parkinson, a 4.17, consolidates his lead. Blake Thornton's last wave, a 4.1, so that puts him up into second. Daniel Farr with a pair of 2.4s, a 2.43 and a 2.4. And Mark Escultura with a 3.83 rounds out our four surfers. 17 minutes to go. Here's a replay of Mitch's wave. It was only a small barrel, and he would like to have spun this all the way around as opposed to having to revert out. And as soon as he did that, he lost all of his momentum and went straight off the back. So the judges won't be scoring that aerial as complete. And then we saw Blake throw in some turns, get himself a 4.1, and get himself up to second. Plenty of time to go, 16 and a half minutes. This is Heat 6, Round 2 of the Siargao Cloud9 Surfing Cup. And Will, you were saying that's the 23rd year of this event.
Yeah, so the event's been running for 23 years. Started out for a long time as a invitational thing run by our friends at Billabong. They would bring over about 16 of the world's best barrel riders and just shoot it out in a one-day barrel contest. And then a few years, WSL started working with him, as we see Daniel Farr up and riding. No barrel, so he's got to do this one with turns. A couple of nice turns. Ditched the fins on the last one. That's not going to be a huge score, but it's going to be good for his confidence. He's completed a wave. Mitch has got his arms up. He wants to know the time and situation. Maybe the wind's causing a bit of havoc with getting the communication out to the surfers, but we've got our beach commentary team onto that. Looks like Mitch has heard what's going on. Yeah, but as the local surfers started to develop their skills, the government here decided to put on an international contest and give their local surfers experience against the rest, as we see Daniel Farr. Nice crack in the pocket.
Well, this is the replay of his last wave. Really got the fins over the top in that last section, but couldn't quite ride out of it as clean as he would have liked, but it's enough to get him up into second. So he's just vaulted over Blake Thornton, but Blake really only has the one wave, that 4.1, and plenty of time remaining, 10 minutes down, 15 to go. And the boys are really making sure that the priority judge is on the ball today. That these rules are in place now to stop people from paddling and missing waves, and all the boys know that. And as soon as we see someone paddle and miss a wave, everyone else turns around, they look straight at the board to make sure that that person's been put down into 4th priority.
Mitch doesn't realise it takes the priority judge a second to make the call, and then the disc switcher a second to do it. So I'm sure the judges were on top of it without Mitch having to tell them what to do. But I like it. It's gamesmanship. It's who he is. And there we are. See the tower. You can see all 3 levels. They're packed wall to wall. This community loves their surfing. They love supporting their surfers. As you can see below that Cloud9 banner, there's a picture of...
I think that's Brad Gerlach on the pink longboard paddling out for his heat.
There's a picture of Mike Escultura on a memorial picture for Mark's twin brother, who passed away sadly in the last 12 months in a motorcycle accident on this island. So our thoughts go out to their family. Mark is out there doing them proud, and we're remembering his brother on the tower throughout this whole event.
Is that him in the poster?
Yeah, on that poster, that's his brother.
That's a cracking shot.
Yeah, great surfer. They're twin brothers. One of them's a goofy, one's a natural.
Yep, so we can see it on the tower down the bottom. That is Mike Escultura styling through. I'm assuming that is a Cloudbreak.
Cloud9.
Cloud9, beg your pardon. Cloudbreak, of course, is a left-hander in Fiji, and we're a right-hander in the Philippines.
And it looks like you can see that it's another rain squall's coming through. You can see a bit of texture on the surface. Here goes Blake Thornton, former CT surfer from Maroubra. Beautiful crack. See what this wave's got left in it.
Oh, it's got plenty, I reckon. He's going to squeeze another couple more turns out. Big sheet of spray thrown there as well. He's only looking for a minor score to get himself back into 2nd, and I think he's done that pretty comfortably.
Yeah, that's just the experience there. I think he realised, I'm not going to hunt a barrel right now. I'm battling for 2nd place at the moment against scores in the 3 to 4 range. Let me just post something in the 5 range, take some pressure off, and then maybe I can wait around for a tube. Once again, Brad Gerlach's probably going to time his heat perfectly. This rain squall will pass through, it'll clean up, and he'll probably get a couple of Cloud9 barrels.
He'll do anything to get out of work, that guy. He's made it 50-something years through life. And there it is. Last wave for Blake Thornton was a 6.33. So that does put him into 2nd. And with a little bit of a margin over Daniel Farr, who's now gone from 2nd to 3rd. So Blake Thornton is building wave by wave. And, he's overtaken 2nd. And now there's only one spot left for him to go. He'll have Mitch Parkinson firmly in his sights with 12 minutes remaining as the rain starts to tip it down out in the lineup.
Yeah, so we went on hold for a few hours and we've come back for 3 heats at the end of the day, but this place, when it turns on, you got to take advantage of it. We've got a week. The forecast in this part of the world, you're relying on lows, not ground swells, so if there are waves, you've got to run. So we're going to start again really early tomorrow. We might even start before 6 o'clock local time, aim to start at 5:45. It'd be nice to squeeze out 16 or more heats before the low tide tomorrow.
It does get light incredibly early here. I got up at 5 this morning and it was broad daylight.
Yeah, it's unusual, isn't it? But then it gets dark early. That's the other thing. It's going to be dark by 5:45, especially with this thick cloud overhead. But we're surfing regardless, and there's plenty of good waves.
Well, Blake Thornton, speaking of good waves, can he find the tube here, or is he going to revert to turns once more? Strong attack on the lip, but just the one hit there for Blake. And now what's this lump behind going to do for us? Mitch Parkinson, who else? Straight into the tube. He parks an arm in the wall. Is he still going? He's come over the foam ball and he's snuck out of that one. So beautiful tube ride, and he's not done yet. Can he put the exclamation point on it? He's done the air reverse and not quite completed that. But all of the points for
out
Mitch
the back.
Parkinson there. Out the back. He's throwing a little shaka because he really wrangled the foam ball there. Can't wait to have a look at the replay, and you'll see he's straight into the barrel. He's no doubt armbarred the wall. Where is he? Comes flying over the ball and dodges another little guillotine section and couldn't quite put that down, but doesn't matter. That's going to be another strong score for Mitchell Parkinson as we sneak down under 10 minutes. 15 minutes gone, 10 to go. This is the penultimate heat of the day, Heat 6, Round 2 of the Siargao Cloud9 Surfing Cup. One more heat to go is Baron Mamaya from Hawaii, Noah Beshan also from Hawaii, Kai Awada from Japan, and then good old Brad Gerlach from California, USA. He was the top scorer in round 1. Can he keep the magic run alive in round 2? We'll know in about 9.5 minutes time. Just waiting on one last score to come in for Mitch Parkinson. He's got an 8.5. What's he going to back that up with? It was a beautifully navigated wave. He got
really
super
throaty
deep.
tube,
Yeah, he totally disappeared. And he still came out strong. It wasn't like he wobbled out of the barrel. He was rock solid on his board. And there it is, an 8.77. So since we've come back from rain and tide delay, we've seen Fraser Devel drop the day's highest heat score. He's now been overtaken by Mitch Parkinson with an 8.77 and an 8.5 for a 17.27 two-wave total. So the judges indicating there they are all about the tube here at Cloud9, and rightly so. That was easily the deepest, thickest barrel we've seen ridden today, and Mitch Parkinson has come from behind the foam ball to further consolidate his hold on first place with 8 minutes remaining in Heat 6 of Round 2 of the Siargao Cloud9 Surfing Cup here in the Philippines. 23rd year of this event, and well, we've had some great waves on day 1. It's looking like more of the same for the next couple of days, and then we're keeping our fingers crossed for something a bit bigger and even chunkier coming into the weekend.
It's been amazing to watch these last 2 heats, to just see one surfer just be so in sync with the bomb sets coming through. I mean, if you're watching this heat and you're in the next one, how do you prepare to be that person? You know, you take off on a wave like Mitch's and you get an 8.5 or 8.77, and then you take off on one like Blake's and it closes out on you.
Well, I think you answered your own question there. You watch.
Yeah.
You just sit and watch and watch and watch and watch, and those waves, you know, whether you are aware of it or not, they should start coming to you. I mean, Brad Gerlach, prime example. He's never surfed here before. He paddled out this morning, not necessarily even to catch any waves. He just wanted to take the temperature of the lineup, figure out a few takeoff spots, see who was getting the good ones, where they were getting them from, and he paddled out and got at that point, the best wave of the day so far. Pretty much on the second wave he'd ever stood up out at Cloud9. All right, here's a guy who's surfed here plenty, Mark Escultura. He's ducked his head. He's pig dogging, and unfortunately that wave is not going to give him any love whatsoever. That's going to be his second score. It's not going to be enough to see him threaten second position.
See, he knows he needs a score, so he faded deeper on that one, and it ended up being a bit of a mistake because it hit the reef and just started running off ahead of him. Sometimes when there's 6 minutes left, you got to try something risky to get the scores, and unfortunately for our local surfer in green, it didn't come off from him in that heat. He'd be looking for something pretty excellent in the 7-point range. We can't see it on our screen here. And so with 6 minutes remaining, Mitch Parkinson's run away with this heat. Highest heat total of the event so far. Best barrel riding of the event so far. We've got Blake Thornton, former CT surfer, in pretty comfortable in second place. Daniel Farr in third. Daniel's looking
This is a good-looking wave, and what's Daniel Farr going to do here? Well, he couldn't quite sneak under it, but what can he do for us now? He pulls through the back, and he just got a little bit hung up and kind of airdropped into that one, and it didn't allow him to get stuck in as soon as he would have liked. And now, Blake Thornton, this is a beast. He's parking it. It didn't really get super deep. That'll make a beautiful photo. Maybe not the best video clip of all time. It was a solid wave, but not super deep. But you can imagine that Blake's going to ditch his 4.1 and further consolidate his hold on second place with that one. What do you reckon, Will?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't an easy takeoff. It got really steep as he was getting up. And I know he would have liked to get real deep in that thing, but as he realised earlier in the heat, sometimes when you get too deep, you don't come out. So beautiful looking waves there, and you saw Daniel Farr on that one. He just, I think he cruised into the wave thinking it was going to be an easy takeoff, and it kind of held him back up a little bit. Here's Blake Thornton's wave. Check out this beast.
Yeah, I don't know really what more he could have done. Possibly hit the brakes. Just jammed it that little bit harder to try and stall. Maybe shove 2 arms in the wall. But we're just being overly fussy. So Blake's looking to replace a 4.1, and he's done it just a 4.33 for that last wave. Here's Daniel Parr. And right about here, I thought he might have been able to sneak up into that one, but I don't think... Oh, maybe that was a mistake, and he should have given it a go.
Yeah, when you're in third, you gotta take some risks, and I think there was a bit of an inside barrel on offer there. Not many waves have done that today in his defence, but it was, as Gurr likes to say, he left some points on the table on that one.
Yeah. So 4 minutes remaining. Plenty of waves. Nothing's changed on the scoreboard. Mitch Parkinson out in front. Here's the replay of Daniel Farr again. He wasn't helped by that big foamy section just coming down on him. He would like to have been pulling in right at the point where he pulled through the back of the wave, and I think if he'd had some speed he could have punched out of that end section. But yeah, he had to come around a large sort of avalanche of white water that collapsed on him and made the task that little bit harder.
Just want to throw a webcast shout out to our friend John Shamuka. He was supposed to come over and join our commentary team, but had some health problems and he's at home. So rest up and get well, mate. We'll see you in the lineup again soon.
Yeah, we're thinking of you, Shmoo. Was really looking forward to some of the banter that was no doubt going to go down between Gurr and Shmoo. 2 sparring partners from way back in the day, and they would have been really tearing strips off each other in good spirits, of course, but it was going to be pretty fantastic. But obviously health needs to come first, and so Shmoo, we're all thinking of you. Hope you're doing all right, buddy, and yeah, I'm sure he's going to come back.
Look at Mitch Parkinson in blue. He's paddled deep. He wants to get one more bomb before his heat finishes. It's all over. He's won the heat, but I'm sure he wants another barrel. He's a bit of a tube pig, likes spending time in the barrel, lives at Snapper Rocks, gets plenty of time in the barrel at home. And here goes our local surfer. That's
Mark Escultura.
Yeah, it just hasn't quite worked out for him. He was really good on his backhander in the barrel earlier in the day, and unfortunately, Mitch has stolen all the good barrels out of this heat. White's waving his hands in the air. He's got one last throw of the dice. There's 2 minutes. Wants to know what score he needs.
Yeah, and he needs about a 7.
And that rain squall's passed through again, and the conditions are looking quite clean and enticing again for the last heat of the day, which will get started in about 1 minute and 30 seconds time. So Chris, your first full day commentating at Cloud9, what did you experience that you didn't quite expect from this place?
Well, I remembered a raincoat, given it's the tropics, which I took the points over Gurr there because he came here without one. It's actually a lot. It's very much how I expected it to be. It's just a dreamy looking right barrel. I'd love to try and get a couple once all these really good surfers get out of town. Here goes Mitch Parkinson, signing off as he started. Big aerial, don't you dare put that one down. That would have been up into the excellent range if he'd managed to stick that one. And here goes Blake Thornton. So we've had our first and second place holders go back to back, and they'll be hoping that that's it, done and dusted. 30 seconds to go.
How was that pump from Mitch Parkinson? Both arms raised up in the air. He had to race. He was so deep. Here we go, replay of our current heat leader, Mitch Parkinson.
It's a big pump right there to get the speed going. And once he had that line, it was never in doubt. That was slightly in doubt, but if he'd stomped that, we would have been looking at a monstrous score. And there it is. That is the horn going. As we see the replay of Blake Thornton's wave. And might go into his top two crisp turns, but no tube. And we've seen the judges' love of the barrel. So we're into the last heat of the day. 2 Hawaiians, a Japanese surfer and an American. Baron Mamiya, Noah Beshin flying the flag for the 50th state. Kai Owada is from Japan, and Brad Gerlach from the US of A, who got himself a beautiful barrel, an 8.17 I think it was, in his opening heat this morning. Well, here he goes. If you don't mind, Brad Gerlach picking up where he left off with another nicely navigated tube.
He's going to be one happy camper tonight as we see Surfer in red.
He's got another tube. And, well,
he did really well to hang on to that one on the inside.
He did really well. His wasn't as clean as Gers, but it was maybe had a little bit more travel time in the tunnel. So it'll be interesting to see how the judges split those two scores.
Gers didn't even wait a minute. Just straight into it.
Straight up tube pig. And he's claiming that he has a bit of a dodgy knee at the moment, so he said he's basically just tube hunting this week, and he's done it very nicely here. Look at that thing. Just beautiful shape. And he was happy with that one. And then behind him, this is Baron Mamiya. And his wasn't as clean as Gers, punched through a couple more sections. And he's done it very nicely. So how are the judges going to split this one? There it is. A 5.67 for Brad Gerlach into the lead. And Kai Owada is currently sitting second. And there it is. A 6-point ride for Baron Mamiya. So the judges liking that one just for its extra travel time in the barrel. And if you could have combined them both, if you could have had the barrel that was as clean as Gers, and he was as nice and deep and sitting pretty, and then maybe with the length of Barons, you'd be looking at something up in those 8-point range that we've seen throughout the day.
Yeah, I think Mitch Parkinson really showed the excellent tube riding in that last heat, and the judges have become really critical in this one, and so they should be. I mean, when those waves are out there and look at these conditions cleaning up, there's going to be bomb sets in the next 22 minutes.
Yeah, you can hear the beach commentary there. They're pleading with the free surfers to just hang back for 22 minutes, because you know that everyone's just going to swarm the lineup and try and get a couple of waves before it goes too dark. As we were saying, it gets light really early here, but it also gets dark in a hurry, especially with all this cloud cover tonight. So, yeah, by 6 o'clock, it's well and truly going to be lights out here. That's why we're only running the 3 heats. You can already see, looking at the screen, it's gloomy to start off with. So let's just hope that the light and the free surfers give our 4 surfers in the water right now enough breathing space to get this one done and dusted. And then we're going to be back super early first thing tomorrow. Possibly looking at, what about a 5:45 a.m. start?
Yeah, we just don't want to... the swells here can hang around for 3 days, and this is the first day, so we don't want to waste any of it. As we see our surfer in green, Brad Gerlach.
Again, he's living in the tube. And now we're going to see some turns. Styles through that one. Got a little bit bogged halfway through, and he'll know that. He is an amazing analyst of all things biomechanics and body positioning, body English, and he will be totally fine when the score comes in for that one. Now
here's our Japanese surfer, Kai Owada.
Kai Owada. waiting for Noah Besh, and he has priority. Yet to spin on anything. Is he going to have a look? He decides not to go, and Baron Mamiya says maybe I'll have a look, and he pulls back on that one as well. Wasn't interested.
I wonder if Noah Beshin was watching that last heat and just kind of sitting a little bit deeper, sitting where Mitch was. He knows Mitch has been here a few times. He saw Mitch's barrels, and he knows he's got 20 minutes and priority, so he's going to get at least one. Gerlach's second wave comes in at a 3.83. It's just a nice little clean tube, and
extends his lead.
Yep, back into first.
And obviously he surfed a million heats in his lifetime, but he's never used the 4-man priority system before because that's only been a recent addition to the qualifying series, and he is loving it. And here he goes again. This is wave number 3 for Gerlach. There's no tube on this one, so he's going to do a big old hack out of the top. And man, he's throwing some buckets. The 3 big turns back to back. And the green jersey of Brad Gerlach is going places in this heat. The last heat of the day, this is Heat 7, Round 2 of the Siargao Cloud9 Surfing Cup, the 23rd anniversary edition of this event. And,
do you think he fell on that last cutback and was like, oh, I know this is being webcasted. I know they're talking about me. I need to show them I can do some turns. So caught an insider and lit it up.
Well, there it is, a 4.5. Here's the replay. Big turn, plenty of spray from Ger, straight fluently into another nice turn. So 3 nice carves from Brad Gerlach through to the inside, and he is making a strong case for a position in the 3rd round. And you got to wonder whether he wants to surf Cloud9 some more, or whether he's just looking to get out of a few more heats of commentary duties.
Yeah, I don't know. I told him if he makes the next round, he's got to share his prize money with us. So.
And who've we seen getting barreled right now?
That is our Japanese surfer, Kai Owada. Don't know if we saw the start of that tube, so there could have been something we missed. So we'll have to wait and see how the judges reward that one.
So there it is, a 3.6 for Kai Owada's last wave. And, well, that's got him within range of 2nd place. He's just a 0.07 behind, so he needs to turn his 2.9 into 2.98, and he'll move into 2nd. And currently it's Brad Gerlach with a 5.67 and a 4.5 in the lead. But plenty of time to go in this one. Still 18 minutes remaining. And look, the wind has gone slack, and we're faced with sheet glass conditions right now. And there are so many free surfers just lining up to get out. And we can hear Jerry Deegan, the beach commentator at the moment, just pleading with the free surfers to hang back because, yeah, it's going to be all hands on deck for that last sort of 15-20 minutes of daylight before it gets a little bit too dark out there.
And just a bit of info about the event. This is the 2nd round. Oh, here goes Gerlach.
Oh, he's styling. What's he going to do with all of that? Just set up so far, so he decides to get out of there.
This is the 2nd round. This is the round of 96. 1st and 2nd advance into the round of 64. That's the last seeded round. So that's the round where we see the top seeded guys, number 1 seed, like Kiron Jobber. I saw him earlier today. He'd just got off a flight from Portugal where he spent 2 days traveling to get here. Didn't even know what time it was, but he was stoked to be in the Philippines, and he was watching the waves just freaking out. He was like, I wish my heat was right now. But he'll be out in the water tomorrow. And that is also the prize money round. So these guys want the points, they want the prize money, they want the chance to surf this wave again with just 2 other guys, because I can tell you when it's this good, there's probably usually about 30 people out there.
Alright, here goes Baron Mamiya. Late and deep, and can't find his way out of that one. Noah Beshin yet to open his account. Will he have a look at one of these lines? And, well, that one sneaks through as well.
Is it almost go time for Noah?
I think so. I mean, that wave spat. Can Noah
You don't want to go too cold. You've warmed up, you've stretched up. You don't want to sit there and not catch any waves for 10 minutes.
Here goes Kai Owada, and he's deep. Can he find a way through? No.
haven't quite seen the sets like we have in the last heat, so maybe they're on their way. Maybe Noah's doing the right thing. We still have Brad Gerlach out in the lead with a 5.67 and a 4.5.
And Brad would have surfed against Noah Beshan's dad, Shane, back in the day. And here he goes, late drops into that one, so he's going to have to take it to turns. And this wave's not cooperating with Ger, but he has been very, very active. He's caught about 8 waves so far across the opening 10 minutes of this heat. And yeah, as I was saying, Noah Beshan, his father is Shane Beshan, fearsome World Tour competitor, was for a period Kelly Slater's greatest rival in the World Tour. I mean, Kelly's had about 10 different rivals over the course of his amazing career. But yeah, there was definitely a period where Shane Beshan and Kelly Slater were just tooth and nail at the top of the rankings. And Ger would have surfed a heat or two against Shane right at the end of his career and probably right at the start of Shane's. And now, all these years later, here we are in the Philippines. It's a QS 3000 event, and Brad Gerlach is surfing against Noah Beshan, who is Shane's son.
I think he's quite young. I think he's at 16 years old. He's got a big future ahead of him. I've seen some of his clips. He's got it all. He can turn, he can tube ride, he can air. So I'm looking forward to seeing big things from him. I want to see it with my own eyes here in the Philippines. So hopefully he catches a wave soon.
Yeah, he's definitely got a name, so it'd be great to see him deliver on the hype. And I mean, that situation's not foreign. I think you'll find Kelly Slater used to surf against Ricardo Toledo, Felipe's dad, back in the day. He was a pro surfer a few years back. And here goes Baron Mamiya. What's he going to do with this one? Takes to the sky, rides out of that one. Super smooth, nice and easily done. Straight into a big hack. And he rode out of his big punt far better than he rode out of his carve. Here goes Ger again, staying very, very busy. Big section, and he gets out of there. And we're still waiting for Noah Beshan to exercise his priority and get going. We saw Eli Olsen a couple of heats ago. He took about 10 minutes to get going and only started off with a minor score. So like you said, Will, it's great to be selective, but at what point do you just go, right, we need to start putting some runs on the board?
And let's see this replay of this air from Baron. Beautiful tail whip in that air. I loved it. But couldn't quite stick the carve. Hopefully Wainsey, our media manager, got the photo.
All right, Baron Mamiya, his last wave was a 5.17. That's put him into the lead. Brad Gerlach is now looking for a 5.5 to move back into first. As we see,
that's the other tower angle.
Baron there, yeah. And it's just, I mean, it's a pity he didn't really complete that last carve because his 5.17 would have been significantly greater. So Kaya Wada, well, he's now looking for about a 7 to or 6.8, something in that neighbourhood, to get himself into second. And Noah Beshan hasn't taken off on a wave, so he's technically comboed. He won't be comboed once he catches a wave, but 12 minutes to go. We're more than halfway through this heat. It's time for him to start getting active, I reckon.
And first thing tomorrow, we're going to see another former CT superstar, Tiago Perez, in the water, up against Sheldon Simpkins and Gabriel Villaran and Love Hodel. I guess this place must be on Surfer's bucket list. We've got all these guys coming out of retirement coming here.
100% it is. So Noah Beshan lets that one go as well. And the heat leader, Baron Mamiya, says, thanks a lot. I'm going to try and get tubed. Can't get tubed, so goes to the air instead. Another air reverse. But just the one and done for Baron. Don't think that will go into his top two. And, well, now Noah Beshan, is he having a look at this lump? 11 minutes, 20 to go. And I do love it when a surfer's confident enough in their ability to just sit with priority and wait for a bomb. But I think Noah will want to get going. 11 minutes remaining. He's not interested in that one.
You only need 2 waves, but you got to remember it's a 4-man heat. So when you use your priority, and even if you get a good score, you've still got to wait for the other 3 to get their next wave before you can have your pick.
Yeah, and we see Baron Mamiya. He's gone into the lead, and now he's not interested in playing priority games. He's just going to scoot around on the inside, and see if he can't just accrue some points on the little insiders that no one else is interested in. So, yeah, once you've got that lead, the last thing you want to do is get involved in any form of priority tangle. And so he's giving the rest of the field plenty of breathing room right now. Just over 10 minutes to go before we call it a day. And watch as the hordes of free surfers swarm the lineup.
I've been talking to a lot of the surfers today. They were all really stoked with how day one's panned out. You spend a lot of money on a plane ticket, getting to an event, and you have no idea what the conditions are going to be like. And to show up and there's really fun barrels, turn sections, and ramps on the end. It takes a big weight off your shoulders. Now you just have to go out there and do what you can do. All these guys can surf well, and it's a bit of who gets into rhythm and who gets the bombs, but at least they don't have to worry about battling through some tough conditions. So, been a great day one, and hopefully tomorrow we see some of the top seeds. We got 9 minutes and 37 seconds to go, and I still don't know how this heat's going to finish, because we've got one of the best talented kids in the field who hasn't even taken off on a wade yet.
He's really keeping a close eye on his competitors. I'm not sure why. Here goes Barron. Nothing so far. He's going to take to the sky. That's a big punt and rides out of it. So huge full rotation air reverse from Barron Mamiya. And now finally here goes Noah Beshan. What's he been waiting for? He's found a great little tube. Can he get a second section? Lightning quick floater and just gets dusted. So I reckon Barron Mamiya is going to up his score. That was probably the biggest aerial we've seen up there with Mitch Parkinson's alley-oop so far today.
Yeah, and then Noah's score is going to be super interesting. Is it similar to Gerlach's first barrel? Is it better? The judges from their angle, they've got a tough job. They're going to try and figure out what scores to throw at these guys, but I agree that Barron's going to extend his lead with this one.
Yeah, he initially went to look for the barrel and then went, this is a big ramp, and just got so much amplitude and rode out of it nice and cleanly. It was just the one maneuver, but there it is, a 7.3. So imagine if you combine a tube with that, and then here's Noah Beshan's, just a little barrel and a quick little chop down kind of maneuver, and there it is, a 5-point wave for Noah. And interestingly, he gave that wave to Barron. So he waited and waited and waited, decided he wasn't interested in that, and Barron's cashed it into the tune of 7.3 points. Noah's gone the wave behind, opened his account with a 5, and now he needs a 5.18 to overtake Gur and move into second. Gerlach looking to upgrade a 4.5 to strengthen his hold on second, and here he goes. He's going to tuck in his little tube. Beautiful positioning. Big turn there. We saw some fins. Straight into another attack on the lip. And is that going to upgrade Gur's 4.5? And now here we go. Noah Beshan, his second wave. So all of a sudden he's starting to get very active. He's looking good. And, well, he's lost his board as soon as I've said that. So that's going to go into his top 2, but it's not going to be a significant wave in the final outcome of this heat. 7 minutes to go.
Yeah, that's the price you pay if you wait that long for a wave. You've got to get really busy in the back half, and it puts pressure on you. Noah's really good at those airs, but when you know you need to stick this air to even have a chance at coming close to taking second place, it definitely puts a weight on your shoulders, and it didn't help. He wasn't even close on the takeoff. The board left his feet. The wind is completely still, so it's not ideal for waves, but it hasn't bothered Barron. And here's our Japanese surfer.
That was a great wave, Kaiwata, and a nice turn there. And a couple more through to the inside. Now we're seeing Barron Mamiya. We've seen some big punts. And he's standing on the tail. He's got another big ramp. Goes the alley-oop this time. And, well, I thought he'd put that one down. And I'm not sure where it slightly went awry right at the finish.
Is he in the heat, or is he, like, practicing his airs?
Putting together a video part right now. And, yeah, it's funny. It used to be you'd stall to try and get barreled. Nowadays, guys stand on the tail and stall and stall and stall until they get that perfect ramp section to take to the sky. And
here's Kaiwata's nice barrel. He's waited a long time for that. He's got some tube time. backed it up with a couple of turns. That's his best wave of the heat so far. Let's see if it'll put him back in the game. Interesting 5 minutes. The good thing about this heat is everyone's been given their opportunities. You hate seeing heats where guys just can't get a wave, and look at that rotation.
Looked like he had it down.
Yeah. There is a lot of power. Where Mitch did his alley-oop, it was on the inside. That was where the wave's really powerful.
Right, here goes Noah Besh, and he's chasing Brad Gerlach. And, well, his board got away from there. So exactly 5 minutes to go. Ger's not going to be comfortable sitting in first. He wants to get rid of that 4.5 and put something more significant in his scoreline. Here goes Baron Mamiya, who's just having an expression session. He's either a foot above the lip or tunnelling underneath it. It's a little credit cardy double grab. He won't want to see the replay of that one. Now Noah Beshan is suddenly getting super active. He's going to look for a ramp. Well, no, he whips the tail around. And now he tries to throw one up, and he won't be happy with that wave either. So, it's still very much a live ball game. 4.5 minutes to go. Baron Mamiya is comfortable but not confident yet that this one's in the bag. He's sitting in first with 7.3 and a 6. Brad Gerlach has a 5.67 and a 4.5. Noah Beshan has a 5, so he needs about a 7 something to get himself into second, and Kayawada's about the same as well. He's got a 5.03. It's getting really dark out there now. Still not going to stop the free surfers from wanting to get out there. We can hear Jerry Deegan, beach commentator, just pleading with the free surfers to hang back because they're all just lurking right on the end section. We'd hate for someone to, need to finish off a wave chasing a score and get themselves into free surfer territory down the end of their wave. 3.5 minutes to go.
Thanks for that, Binsey. Great wrap up there. What a heat, what a day. We've done, I think this will make it 15 heats for the day. We've seen some excellent surfing. Highlight has to go to Mitch Parkinson. Put on a tube riding clinic and even landed that incredible alley-oop. But Barron's been pretty entertaining in this heat too. He's been in the air, he's been in the barrel. I
don't know if he's used his rails once. He's either been armbarring the wall and sliding through tubes, or he's been popping some pretty big air reverses. And he just went for a massive alley-oop too, and I'm not quite sure he didn't ride out of it because it looked like he'd done absolutely everything perfectly and then just vanished into the whitewater on landing. 2 minutes 40 to go.
Maybe he bailed. He's saving his ankles for tomorrow.
And Brad Gerlach, well, all eyes are on the battle for second place right now. Brad Gerlach has a 5.67 and his backup's a 4.5. He wants to get rid of that 4.5 to give himself a little bit more breathing space. Kayawada has a 5.03, so he needs about a 5.15, and Noah Beshan has a 5, so he needs a 5.18. All very gettable scores. 2 minutes remaining. Here goes Noah Beshan looking for a 5.18. Nice turn, really lively, got plenty of release out of the tail, throws a little reverse and rides out of it, and he's happy, gives himself a little clap. Here goes Baron Mamiya looking to further extend his hold on the lead. Drives into the tube, comes out, does an alley-oop, and just got hung on the lip. Can't ride out of that one. So, has Noah Beshan got himself a 5.18 and a slice of second place pie? And grabbed himself one of those two progressing positions. Here goes Barron again. 90 seconds to go. Another air reverse, and he's just doing it so easily right now.
He's just making the judges work.
Isn't he? They're like, dude, just let us have another look at Noah's score. See if we can't give him some numbers.
Yeah, Noah knows that his wave needs to be his best wave. He needs it to be better than his first. And it's probably around about that because it's similar to Kayawada's 503, so it's going to be interesting to see. It was I was trying to listen to the beach announcer. I didn't hear it come through. We'll wait for it to come through in this mad minute.
We're still waiting for Noah Beshan's last wave to come in. I don't think the judges have dropped a number for it yet. It was only a smaller insider, but he did a nice turn. And then that lightning quick reverse. Didn't have heaps of amplitude on it, but it was still a pretty tricky manoeuvre. And here goes Kai Owada. That was a bit of a throwaway. 30 seconds to go. We're still waiting on that last score from Noah Beshan. Gurr will be... Well, there it is. He's got himself a 5.23. He's moved in to second place. He's clapping. He's happy with it. Brad Gerlach now needs a 4.56. So it's just the narrowest of margins, and time's going to be the enemy for Gurr here. 5 seconds remaining in this one.
Shane Beshan in the tower just.
And well, don't rule him out. Can Gurr get up? The Hooter has just beaten him, so this will be a sign-off for Gurr. He managed to snaggle himself another tube. That was a nice turn as well, but it's going to be a little bit too late for Brad Gerlach. And he'll make his way into the beach as Baron Mamiya and Noah Beshan, the two Hawaiians, make their way through to the third round. That was Heat 7, Round 2 of the Siargao Cloud9 Surfing Cup. We see the free surfers swarming the lineup already. Fantastic first day, as you said, Will. 15 heats today. We've seen some fantastic tube riding. We've seen some insane aerials, and you know that the standard is only going to keep getting better and better as we roll on through the rounds. It's almost dark now. We're going to be back here as soon as daylight cracks first thing tomorrow. We might be looking at a 5:45 start. But yeah, we've had one fantastic day of surfing in the books, and we've got a couple more lining up in front of us. My name's Chris Binns. Alongside me is Will Hayden-Smith. We're going to sign off. We'll see you bright and early in the Philippines first thing tomorrow at the Siargao Cloud9 Surfing Cup. Have a great day.
Thanks for watching, everyone.
You.